saw this video that I thought was pretty cool. There's a guy I never heard of. His name is, I think it's Jim Rohn. This like older dude, like it looks like a preacher or something. But he was talking about this whole thing about the day that changes your life. I got to watch the whole lecture, but there was something in there that was pretty interesting. He was talking about resolve, and he said the best explanation he ever heard was from a little girl, and she said it's making a promise to yourself that you'll never give up. And I know I talked about this recently, like the idea of like knowing when to quit, when to pivot, or when to, you know, keep going. Because the idea, like, I was talking about that meme, or, you know, a little illustration where there's a guy digging for diamonds, and then I think like the next slide he's walking away from the hole that he was digging, but the diamonds are like right on the other side. So like he gave up too early, and there's all these stories about giving up too early, and I started thinking about it on the level of like, well, how do you know you're digging in the right spot? But with this idea of like just thinking about resolve, like making a promise to yourself that you'll never quit, I think it all falls into the same shit. It's kind of like maybe you got to switch where you're digging and all that stuff, but it doesn't mean you're going to quit trying to achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve. And so I was thinking about that, and I was like evaluating myself and like, how much resolve do I have in all areas of my life? And like I found that, you know, maybe I have a lot for my business, you know. So every day I wake up and I just get to work, and I do the stuff that I know needs to be done. But at the same time, you know, like everybody has good days and bad days, but every day I do stuff to move forward in my business 7 days a week. So I feel like I have the resolve to do that. But then I think about like my physical health, like that's the area that I feel like I'm lacking. Like I feel like I'm, oh shit, sorry. Should have waited. I feel like I've gotten myself to a pretty good spot, but I know that I'm not where I want to be. And so what ends up happening for me is like, and I guess this ties into this idea of like positive and negative momentum, is like, let's see, how can I tie all this together? So let's stay on the resolve thing. I'll get into momentum. So like I have the resolve to never give up on this business, you know, at least for the foreseeable future. And so every day I get up and I do what I feel like needs to be done, and I see, you know, it's paying off. Like I made a commitment to do this shit, and so over time you start to see more and more benefits from it. So like posting more on social media, making more content, putting more effort into advertising and all that kind of stuff. And then I see, you know, sales are getting better, and then you get some momentum and you're like, fuck, okay, I got it. That kind of keeps pushing you forward. So like the resolve kind of gets you going, and then it's like that flywheel effect. Your resolve of like, I'm never going to give up. So you keep pushing forward, and then you build some momentum. And then I was starting to think like, how does that apply in all areas of my life? Like I got that with my business, but then I look at my physical health, and it's like, I told myself I want to work out every day, or at least like 6 days a week. I want to do 7 days, but like if so I feel like, you know, kind of messed up from the day before, maybe I won't, but I don't know. Either way, the idea is like I want to get to where I'm just working out every day, like I don't know if I want to get too far into it, but like I have this idea for myself. Like I know a lot of people say like you could work out 3 days a week, and you know, or something like that, but I feel like that's like, when you do that, like you're gonna work out kind of a lot, you know, like a longer period. So I was like, maybe I could do it every day, but just do like shorter workouts, you know. And I kind of like put like a plan together, and I figured it all out. I did a bunch of research, and then I found that that's like a strategy that people use. And for me, it was like, I need that consistency, and I need to build up those wins. So like if I get like 3-4 days in a row, it starts kind of like becoming a little easier. I start building up momentum. And but that's the thing that I fall off on the most. Like I don't fall too far off, but I'll go a few days without working out. I'm like, fuck, I got to get back into it. And then it's kind of like starting the momentum back up. And so I'm like, why don't I have the same resolve for my physical health that I do for my business? And I don't really have the answer to that. But it got me thinking, like, you have a capacity for a lot of different things. So you may have a limited capacity. I'm trying to think of some stuff that I've heard. It was like, there's a thing like people talk about it. I don't know if it's real or not, but they say like decision fatigue. So like really high level CEOs that are like making all these decisions every day. They say like there's people that like Mark Zuckerberg, I think, is one of the people they referenced. They're like, the reason that he wears the same shit every day is so that that's one less decision he has to make. So it's like you only have a capacity to make a certain amount of decisions every day, and then you start getting like decision fatigue, and you start making less and less good decisions. I guess that's what that means. And so I was wondering, do you have a capacity for momentum? Like, like if you build up a shitload of momentum in one part of your life, and then you try to build up momentum in another part. So like for me, like with my business, I have all this momentum. I'm waking up every day. I'm doing all my work. I can't imagine like not having a day like that where I get my work done. And but like I have a hard time building that same level of momentum with my own physical activity, so like working out every day, tracking my food, and doing all the things that I want to do to get myself to where I want to be. Now I was starting to wonder if like there's some kind of level to, I don't know, can you only have so much momentum? Is there like a cap to it? I don't know if that's a good way to look at it, but it got me thinking about it, because I know that there's a certain point, like, there's people that say like, oh, you got to work like 14-15 hours a day, and like wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and do all this shit and work and grind and all that kind of stuff. But like, then there's people that talk about like the diminishing returns, like after a certain amount of time, your productivity is not really, I don't know, it's diminishing returns. I don't know how to explain it. It's like the first 4 hours of your day, you're working and getting like X amount of shit done per hour, and then the more hours you stack on top, you get less and less done because you're fatigued, your mind gets kind of fried, and so there's a certain amount of capacity you have for that kind of shit. And I was just reading the War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, and is that his name? I don't know. And he was talking about the same thing. He's like, I get up, he has like a morning routine, he does all of that shit, and then he gets to work writing, and he said he knows around the 4-hour mark he starts making mistakes, and that's where his diminishing returns kicks in, so that's when he stops. And so there's people that say, you would get more done if you didn't work 14 hours a day. Like if you really just worked like a solid 7 hours and then rested the rest of the time, that 7 hours that you would do coming in rested would be more productive than the 14 hours had you just did 14 hours every day. And so I've been trying to like incorporate that into my life, and like taking a little bit of a break and not just working all the time, because I don't know, that makes sense. But then I thought about it from the momentum perspective, and I'm like, is there a way to maybe rig this so that like maybe I could leave a little more capacity so that I could have momentum in multiple areas of my life. Because for me, it seems like when I have one thing like really moving forward, something else kind of like gets pulled back a little bit, like my capacity to do all of these things is I don't know. You know, it's dawning on me as I'm talking about this that it's probably like, if I did gain momentum in my physical activity and I got like, and I don't even know, because I'm in pretty good shape. I'm not like overweight. I don't eat like shit, but like, I feel like if I were to dial it in a little bit more and get that momentum in that area, then that would carry over to my work. Because like with healthy food and like a fit, you keep your body fit and all that kind of stuff, you have more mental clarity, you have more energy. So maybe that is the answer. Maybe I need to kind of like focus on like the stuff in my business that really moves the needle forward the most, and get the other stuff off my plate, which I already know I am supposed to do that, but like there's a lot of things that I'm doing that I probably shouldn't be doing, that I should be delegating to someone else. If I were to do just the stuff that I can do that moves the needle forward the most, like if it's done by me, and then everything else gets delegated, and then I put that extra energy into being more consistent with my workouts, being more disciplined with my food, and all these kind of things, I bet that would make my work more productive, because I would be more, my mental health would be a lot better. Well, I don't know if it would be a lot better, because I'm already in pretty good shape. So, but I don't, you know, maybe I'm like right at the cusp of like, if I just get to this level of physical fitness or physical health or whatever, it's gonna move me to this whole nother level of productivity. So I don't know if that's right or wrong, but like, what's the downside? Being in better shape? Like, there's no downside to that. That being in better health makes everything in your life better. So I don't know, I'm gonna try that. So thank you for letting me talk this out. Hopefully you gain some value from it. I don't know. I appreciate you guys. I will see you next time. All right. Good.
Appreciate each and every one of you guys who are supporting the cause and continue to spread the love. And yeah, stay up.